Marker.
Hello again, friends, and welcome to another fine edition of Movie Talk. I don't know why I did. I started it the way I usually start the other podcast. Anyways, my name's B-sox. Joining me on the line, as he does every Friday on the show, is the one and only Mike Reyes, the incomparable Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. How you doing, buddy?
No, I'm doing well. You know, another day, another week of Movie Talk, my friend. How are you?
I don't know why I started doing that. It was like, oh my God, that's the opening for the other podcast. But yeah, like we said, it's a burrito day and I'm pounding coffee. What's that?
I almost feel like we need to come up with a name for this show at some point.
I wouldn't hate it. I'm bad at naming that stuff. Like the afternoon show on 95 KGGO. Like when anybody asks what the name of the show is, I literally just say it's the afternoon show. I think people overname things sometimes. Like for a podcast, yes, that we just deal with movies on this part of the show, then yeah, it needs a name. But like I had this discussion that they were like, well, what are you gonna name the afternoon show? I go, nothing. It doesn't need the to be bedazzled. It is what it is, you know? What kind of hell answer was that?
It's a crossroads between functionality and catchiness, and it's a bitch to nail.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
How did you name the Today Show today?
Oh.
And I only say this because I think a friend of mine just posted it. It's like an anniversary for the Today Show today. I think they first aired like 60 years ago. I'm going to look this up right now, but I think it was like 60 years ago today was the first Today Show. I don't know.
Hey, by the way.
Still, the point remains.
Yeah, completely off the subject. Just telling you right now, my coffee mixture this morning is like perfect.
Okay, so what do you mean by coffee mixture? 70 years ago was the first episode of Today. Happy 70th anniversary today. Back to coffee. What do you mean by your coffee mixture? Do you mean by sweetener and cream, or do you mix with, like my wife will sometimes do half cocoa, half coffee? Do you do that sort of thing?
No, I usually do. At the place I go to, there's a Colombian blend and a Brazilian blend that I'll kind of go back and forth between those. I like medium roast. There's a place, a coffee joint here that I get their medium roast all the time, and I love it. But no, I do cream and sugar. I do probably more sugar than I should because I like sweet coffee. I just always have. Talked to one guy, and he's like, well, you probably never developed a taste for it. And it's like, okay, maybe, but I just like it. I like the taste of anyways. But the mix and everything today is like about as perfect as it could get.
That's a sign of a good Friday. I'm all about that. We just got an espresso machine not too long ago because we were a Keurig household for a while.
Yeah.
And then for some reason just decided to make the switch. And I am finding that the mixture is still very much something to be nailed.
Yeah.
When it comes to, especially when you switch to a new machine. What I've been doing lately is sometimes for sweetener, I'll do monk fruit because I try to keep, I was diagnosed as a diabetic a couple of years ago, so I try to not overdo it on the sweets. But I will also, I'll do a little bit of Cadbury drinking chocolate. Like it's a UK, basically their chocolate, their hot chocolate mixture. They call it drinking chocolate, and it's usually richer over there.
Okay.
So, you find it at the foreign food aisle in your supermarket. You pick up a thing and you just, I put a spoonful of it in there, let the coffee dissolve it. I love oat milk in my coffee.
Okay.
In fact, I think oat milk is kind of better than regular milk.
I'm going to tell you right now, the only two things I need are regular old sugar and regular old half and half.
That's, that's meat and potatoes. And
I'm
who thinks calling something.
I'm a very meat and potatoes guy.
I don't think we should be shaming the phrase meat and potatoes.
No.
Meat and potatoes, for some people, it just suggests no palate. But, sometimes people love the staples. And you know what? Our culture would not be built around them if they weren't solid as a rock.
Listen, between the two of us, I'm probably more the meat and potatoes guy, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think we can appreciate each other's tastes to the point where we're not going to vilify each other.
Well, you know what I did try?
Damn animals.
You know what I did try last year, and I loved it?
Try?
I tried putting an egg in ramen.
Oh, is it not wonderful?
Oh, it's awesome. Anyways, we should probably talk about movies. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line as we have our usual 5 minutes of, it's like 5 minutes of letting the diesel engine warm up a little bit before you hit the highway.
Yeah. And honestly, if you're a newcomer to the show, I think that just endears you. But if you're someone who's been listening to us and downloading our episodes, which you could totally be doing for posterity and just shenanigans, this is just expected. Like, this is welcoming everyone into the living room before we pour the coffee and mix everything just right.
Would you like sugar and half with that? I'll tell you what, I won't go back like the powder creamer and all that. After I started using just half and half, I'm like, this is the only way to do it. I will not use powdered creamer.
Yeah, that is a desperation move, powdered creamer. And yeah.
All right. Well, as we do get into movies this week, we've got a couple that are coming out. We're going to cover a show that's coming to HBO that's based or kind of stems from a movie. Actually, let's start there because I know you got some movies, but I'm just hearing all this great stuff about Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. I love it. I absolutely this show. I'm using the bleep privileges early today.
I guess, man.
So, as if it wasn't good enough that Warner Brothers gave James Gunn the Suicide Squad and said, do your thing, bro. And he did. They decided, you know what? Why don't we do a streaming series? Why don't we give you and John Cena the blank check to fill your cast with wonderful people like Robert Patrick, the T-1000 himself, playing Peacemaker's father, Danielle Brooks from Orange is the New Black playing one of the new members to his team, and of course Steve Agee and Jennifer Holland coming back from Suicide Squad. Basically, that's kind of how this whole thing ties together. Is 4 years after the events of Suicide Squad, Peacemaker is out of prison, out of the hospital. You know, he only served 4 years, and he is now being contracted to clean up some loose ends for the government on the down low. And that's the only premise you need. If you really want to go in and watch the trailers beforehand, do it. But I would tell people just go in cold, because if you know the character, then that's it. And if you don't know the character, the Suicide Squad should be on HBO Max right now.
He was great in that movie. I thought that was one of the better pieces of Suicide Squad. A buddy of mine texted me last night. I mean, it was later in the evening. It was 11:16 last night. Watch Peacemaker. That's all he wrote.
Yeah, no, that is probably going to be one of the two things this weekend that people are going to be texting their friends. Go watch this. And the other one we'll talk about later because a friend of mine gave his feedback. But anyway, yeah, Peacemaker has the first 3 episodes up on HBO Max right now. I think the rest are dropping weekly.
Okay.
James Gunn writes and directs the first 3. And even if you didn't see the credit, you would know that because his prints are all over this. And I am so happy that we're in an ecosystem that allows this to exist. And it's just such a contrast to what Disney's kind of been doing, where Disney and Marvel are still very much they know their formula, and they're playing to that formula, and they're playing it as broadly as possible. Whereas Peacemaker is not going to be for everyone, but if it's for you, it's for you.
Okay. That makes sense. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. No, just whatever. I didn't want to introduce you anymore.
No, I'm letting you introduce me. That's okay.
No, you're ruining
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com.
You're ruining the burrito day, is what you're doing.
You know what? It's always a burrito day. That's the new thing. Okay. So for everybody else, quick detour. B-sox and I were talking off air about the bones, no bones trend that used to be on TikTok, which has kind of died down.
It's died down, but it's still there.
Yeah, but very much whether it's a day to get things done or a day to just hang back and survive. So then B-sox comes up with, hey, it's a burrito day. And now I'm thinking every day should be a burrito day, and that's how you push yourself through. It's like, it's a burrito day. It's one of those new mantras that you just step out there.
Yeah.
TikTok, make it happen, #burrito day.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. As for movies, just real quick, and I don't want to dive into it because we've talked about it before, but Eternals hit Disney Plus this weekend since we're kind of in the comic book world.
Yay.
I think we're going to watch it this weekend.
I'm sorry.
What do we got for movies this week? It's the weirdest segue ever, but whatever.
We've got movies that you can watch in front of your parents, although you may not necessarily want to. I guess I'll just start with the big one. I haven't seen it, but Scream, not to be confused with the 1996 Scream, but rather this is the 2002 fourth sequel to 1996's Scream, which is titled Scream. Don't ask me why. Actually, here it's because it's kind of a pseudo reboot or like a sequel. But anyway, this is a return to Woodsboro where people are getting killed again. And, you know, Nev Campbell, Sidney Prescott, David Arquette's Officer Dewey, and Courtney Cox's Gale Weathers are all involved in trying to solve this mystery, which is connected in some way to their past, I believe. And that's not to denigrate the movie. I haven't seen the sequels. That's why I didn't go see the new one, because I want to do this right.
Yeah.
Because I really do love that first Scream. And I am hearing, though, some divisive, like sort of mixed trending to positive comments, because a buddy of mine went and saw it last night and he loved it. I've heard other people that are big fans of the franchise have loved it, but also there's some that think, it's just too derivative and, a sequel poking fun of sequels. So it really sounds like there's a special crowd for this movie.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just if you have certain hang-ups, it's not going to work, but I'm totally excited.
Okay.
The directors, yeah.
It kind of seems like one of those sequels, and I don't want to dance too much around this or beyond this too long, but it kind of seems like if you're really into those movies, you're going to like it. It's kind of like Saw. If you're really into the Saw movies, you're going to dig it. If not, you're not going to care, right?
Yeah, up to a certain point.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking as a recovering Saw fan.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.
Yeah.
Please, go on.
My dick, man.
Please.
No, please. You're the star here.
No, it just felt like a natural exit there to go on to the next movie.
Yeah, we'll do that.
No, what else did you have to say about it? What brilliant piece
I
of...
forgot now.
Oh, okay. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. Come joining me on the line to talk about movies. What's next?
Such professionalism, folks. You know I love you.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next is going to streaming. Prime Video has Hotel Transylvania 4 Hotel Transylvania Transformania. It's the fourth movie, but they ditched the number and they've given it an actual title. It is the final, supposedly final, Hotel Transylvania movie. And actually the first one without Adam Sandler or Kevin James.
Neither of them are in this?
No. Like, they got Steve Buscemi came back, David Spade's back, Selena Gomez, Andy Samberg, Keegan-Michael Key, like pretty much everyone else is back, but apparently like Adam Sandler and Kevin James didn't come in for this one. But anyway, there is a mishap that turns Johnny into a monster and Count Dracula into a human and his friends into humans. They got to figure out how to undo all of this. And it's just as he's about to announce his retirement and as he's giving the hotel to Mavis and Johnny, but then he has cold feet, and it's actually pretty fun. Like, I started the Hotel Transylvania series not as a fan. Like, I saw the first two movies and I don't know what it was about them that I wasn't really taken with. But then I saw Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation, and for some reason that worked with me. And this one worked with me. And now I want to go back and watch those first two to see if maybe it's just that I've changed. I mean, maybe I was really grumpy at that point. I don't know, but it's a fitting end. It's very sweet. It's very funny. Like, still, they deal in so many like Looney Tunes style shenanigans and sight gags that it's a pleasure to watch. And you will be able to watch it at home on Prime Video this weekend. It is on right now.
All right, cool. No, I liked the first. I didn't have an issue with the Hotel Transylvania, the first one. I get the second two kind of mixed up. I don't remember exactly what happens in them, but I don't remember hating them.
I don't know if I was going through a phase at that point, because that was around the time Dark Shadows came out. And I think it was around that time Dark Shadows came out. And I hated it the first time I saw it, and then actually kind of enjoyed it watching it on TV.
You know, it's funny. I had that, that was me and Zoolander.
I still have not revisited Zoolander.
God, I hate it.
I remember not being a fan.
I hated it, and then I want to say I stopped at a buddy's house, and he had it on, and we did. It was one of those things where you're just hanging out, and I was watching. I'm like, okay, you know what? I actually really like this, and the gasoline fight just gets funnier to me every time I see it now.
It keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Oh yes.
Beetlejuice.
I'm kind of sad that Michael Keaton has not been allowed to return to it because he really seems to want to go back to Beetlejuice. But at the same time, at least we're left with one perfect movie.
You know who really likes Beetlejuice?
No.
My kid.
Oh, your kid's gonna grow up fine.
He he watched it was on, it was the edited version, so you don't get nice bottle. But I thought he'd be a little weirded out by the end, because I always thought that was a little creepy, the end of that movie. But he was fine with it.
The strip cocktail scene. Strip cocktail scene wrecked me as a kid.
Really, those arms coming out of that?
Yeah.
Oh, they were weird. But I mean, I don't know why. I just thought he'd be a little bit more bothered by it or wouldn't want to watch it. But he stared. I was going to say something else, but he stared right at that TV. So, anywho. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.
That's awesome.
You know what? The kid's got interesting taste. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. Was there another movie?
Yes.
Scream.
Yes, there was.
What else? Where are we at? I don't even know where we're at in this conversation.
We talked about Scream. We talked about Hotel Transylvania, Transformania.
Oh, and Peacemaker.
Probably the best movie. Yeah, and Peacemaker. And then probably the best movie of the weekend, which I encourage everyone to seek out as soon as possible. Mamoru Hosada's anime Belle, which is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling in the internet. The whole thing is there's this young girl named Suzu, and she lost her mother at a young age, and she's still kind of dealing with that as she's either a preteen or an early teenager. But anyway, she becomes enraptured in this new social media network called You. People have avatars, and she becomes like a big singing sensation. And then she meets up with this Beast caricature. It really is a clever respinning of Beauty and the Beast, which only uses that for part of its story, but it's visually beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing. They're going to be releasing it. I think it's in wide release, and it will also be in select IMAX theaters. But there will also be English dubs available in theaters. So check your listings very carefully, because I'm thinking about going to see it in IMAX this weekend, and I know it's the Japanese audio with English subtitles. So if you are a sub or whatever side you lay on sub or dub, check your listings very carefully. I know Fandango is really good about denoting them, and I think AMC's app is also good. So just check really carefully.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies and stuff. So Belle's a good one. Was there really any, we're getting kind of long in the tooth, is there any real movie news out there that you can think of?
People think that Rupert Grint didn't show up to the Harry Potter reunion.
Did he?
So here's the thing. He's in the special. He has talks with Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe and has really good moments with them. However, there is a theory that's been running around that he was in Toronto filming for a Netflix anthology series and that he couldn't be present in London to film the show. And that's just, the speculation has grown because there's a whole Toronto unit crew that's listed in the credits for it. And apparently Emma Watson's nail polish changes color from frame to frame or something. And allegedly she's come out and said, and made some sort of comment that he was there. And the internet, man, just the internet running wild.
Why? I guess my question is, was it bad that he wasn't there? Or I guess I don't know.
It's not bad, but people seem to be just latching onto it as the latest thing to talk about, because lest we forget, when the special first debuted, they accidentally used a photo of Emma Roberts as a child instead of Emma Watson. And then they mixed up the names of the actors playing Fred and George in some of the subtitles. So I think it's just another case of people sort of stoking talk around this whole thing. And it's a great special. It actually is a really good special. The internet will talk.
I guess there's part of me that's like, okay, what's the big deal here?
I guess because they didn't state it clearly, and it looks like big quotes, the three of them are in a room together.
Okay. I guess I was waiting more for who's the actor that plays Hagrid?
Robbie Coltrane.
I was waiting for it to be like he doesn't get along with J.K. Rowling or something like that.
No.
But that's what I was waiting. I was waiting for more of it was that reason rather than it was. It's just edited footage together, not really a special that we all thought.
Oh no, it's not. I don't think it's anything that sinister.
Okay.
Although the only way J.K. Rowling does appear in there is archival footage from the studio tour filmed in 2019, and they are very clear to mark that on every time it pops up.
All right, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every Friday on the show to talk about movies and such. You can find his articles at Cinemablend.com, plus we'll have links at the bottom of the page. Mike, you have yourself a good weekend.
You as well, man. Be good to each other out there.